Alrighty, everybody. Downtown Mannheim with all its millions of shopping possibilities. Zooming out from the Blanken to the right to the train station. And we're getting into the Watertower. Right at the beginning, when you're crossing over from the Blanken area into downtown, into the City Symbol of Mannheim, the Watertower, you will be greeted by this fishy water fountain. And it all has its particular purpose here. So Watertower, erected around 1886. And you see right there on the top, female statue, which is in somewhat of relations to the god of Poseidon. And as you will see, everything in here will have a lot to do with water, as the Watertower not only became the city symbol of Mannheim pretty much right after its construction, right after 1886. It also was the main water supply for the downtown Mannheim area for really quite some time, and supplied with water pressure till about the late 1990s. Okay, there are choices to take those steps, and we're taking it on if you want to do it to the left or to the right. And by the way, you will be greeted with the city emblem of Mannheim, the city crest, so to speak. And we're taking it on to the right. And at the foot bases of the tower, and it will be going all the way up and down. And you come in a nice little short balcony area with this little pavilion, closed gates of course. And here's another fishy creature greeting us, all thanks to the family of Poseidon. And as we're swinging around here a little bit towards the balcony area, usually the water fountain is quite up and running. It doesn't look like it's been doing much of that today. Now there's a little disappointment. Usually this fountain is up and running, and you will see the water dripping down the steps on down into this, following the basins where you see all those little sticks and pumps and openings that normally lead to a show of different water sprouts. Currently not active. Sad event right now. Might have to come back during a better time, I guess. And we're taking another round, followed by another mystic hornblower of the Poseidon family. Well, as we can tell, these are all creatures of the Poseidon, with the female statue companion on top of the water tower. So these are the steps, and these are the only possibilities for us as high as it possibly goes, because from here on up you definitely need some keys to get in or access, but it's more likely just tubes and water, as this outer part became this famous design for as it is. Alrighty, back to the lower level. If we swing now to the left, coming in to the right, we still have one of the oldest hotels in Mannheim. It's now Park Hotel. I remember having a big different name a little while ago, but one of the fanciest hotel. I think it's now part of the Marriott chain. And as you go smoothly around the corner, there's actually right up, I would call it the lion's mouth, but some kind of a god creature up in here. And if you get real close attention, you see the marks of the German words of drinking water. So yeah, you are the water tower and you got actually real drinking water. So if you go over here, end up paying a good load, a couple of bucks, or you over get it here from the Mannheim City Clean Water Reservoir, you in good hands. And this is how now we're taking it around a little bit on the lower level. So the upper steps. And let's take a look at the surrounding flowers and beautifications around the back of the tower. And here, as we're approaching the pavilion style little walkway, good cover for rain, by the way. So still no clue, while in the midst of summertime with maybe a little bit of rain seasons, we do not have our famous down the steps into the ground water fountain sprees active, which would have been so beautiful. And on the weekends at nighttime, they do actually have shows with colorful lightnings and things. And yeah, quiet time behind the water tower. As this walkway takes you further on this little pavilion, kind of a walkway with little fancy old lights on top, all around the 1880s, we do have a nice little show of flowers specifically designed all around the water tower. And unfortunately, drier ground on higher ground, huh? Perfect for ravens, because they can ditch now for the worms that never was and may well be. You see the lights, you see the structures. Now you got a little bit behind the scenes look when this is not active. So this is not active, unfortunately. But we have flowers, little bitty trees. And it's always kept like truly to its original design, so which is very nice. It might change on colors and flowers, but they stay always in the same pattern. Now, this would have been, with the water, a postcard picture perfect kind of a view, because now this is a scene as you see it in many flyers, brochure, and as I mentioned, tons of postcards. Here would be the water sparkling around, and on weekends you have colorful events. Still some mystic creatures out of the water from to the left to the right, and what I'm going to give you is total drought with behind the scenes materials, but we still got the beautiful flowers, so we got that. 50% of a downer, more to come. Maybe one of the reasons why Mannheim was chosen to be a location for 2 times for the Federal Garden exhibition, the Bundesgartenschau. I know it was one time, somewhat in the early 70s, 74, 70 something. And then just last year, to be exact, which now after the research, 1975 was the first Bundesgartenschau, Federal Garden exhibition here. And all around Mannheim in 2 different parks, Herzogenried Park and Luisenpark. And just last year in 2024 we happened to have it again, and we'll definitely have you a good glimpse of those parks as well. As this here is one of the perfect free outlooks, total great gathering place if the water fountain would be only up and running. Looking through to one of the little roundways that we have here, little pavilion type of a walkway. And this one gets you around from the back side of the water tower. Well, and then on the upper side to the right, we have what we know as one of the entertaining facilities, the Rosengarten or the Rose Garden, which has probably no affiliations whatsoever with anything of flowers, unless there's something now inside, is Mannheim Entertainment Centers with, haben die immer noch die Hallen da drin? Mozarthalle und so weiter?
Ja.
Okay, cool. Check back, we're still making concerts there. I remember there was like Mozarthalle, Beethovenhalle, ist das richtig?
Oh,
Beethovenhalle, Mozarthalle? Yeah. Well, Definitely, I know there's a hall in there, a big concert hall called Mozarthalle, you know, named after our famous composer, and who lived, of course, 1 year here in Mannheim here after the invitation of our Elector Prince. Would love to bring you also that little house. There's only a plaque nailed to the actual house that is standing right there. It was totally demolished during World War II as an American air raid took place. And by the way, Americans are the ones that love them the most. But here at least he has forever dedicated his own hall, opposite side from walk down to the Watertower. Okay, swinging over to our back, sliding back to the right, and we're exiting top notch of the tree crowns, the Watertower, the little small parking area behind the Watertower in its own little circle parking area. So if you ever get here, it's all free to check out. Occasionally you get to see some water fountains, which we did not see. I can only recall after long thinking that only one time in my entire career this thing was out. This will make it now number 2, but we still at least have at the beginning our water fountain with a little, what I call little froggies. That making sure that it's all still there. Also, you will see a couple better looking flowers that survived the weather changes a little bit better. I know they all need some sunshine and it's not looking like it's just barely happening. Not enough for flowers, but still give you a colorful surrounds off the front. Now, did I not just mention sunshine? And here it is. Thank you. But they need a few a little more, and there probably will be a cloud coming up real soon and covering this whole thing up. But it's a thing about Mannheim. I don't know why they didn't call it Flowerheim, because we just have flowers and trees everywhere that usually also bloom, but that time has pretty much passed along away already. And yep. And this is the scenery now coming totally out from the right. Back to our city symbol of Mannheim, the Watertower. Thanks for watching, everybody. More to come.